Hello, thank you for joining me for today's Facebook Live. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, in Australia. This is the card that we're going to make today. So you're sort of creating your own bokeh style background, if you like. Let's have a quick run through of the products that we're using. First up, the Prairie grass stamp set. I used one of the sentiments last week, but today we're going to be using this, I don't know if it's quite florally, but picture image. And instead of a sympathy card, I'm going to make a thinking of you card, so change up the colors. And I'm going to use the Blooming Phrases stamp set, and we're using Old Favorite Stylish Shapes dies. So it's a pretty easy card to make, but it is lots of fun. So let me just show you. To start off, you're going to make yourself a template. Now, I've just got old wild wheat cardstock, so any cardstock will do, whatever you have on hand. And taking some of your Stylish Shapes dies, you're going to cut circles out. Now, it doesn't matter how you do it. Mine actually sits that way because I wanted the little circle on the top. Now, that was, so let's just see what I used here. I used the smallest, the second smallest, and the third smallest Stylish Shapes dies there. And it's just trying to, okay, no, that wasn't. So there we go. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, counting from the smallest Stylish Shapes dies up. So initially I cut that one, so where I wanted my circles positioned. Obviously this one we had to run it through twice. And then let's just put the dies away. When I did my second template, which is also going that way up, I just watched where I was positioning. Remember, those are two of the same size die, so seeing that it's going to be slightly over the circles on my first one. Now, when I did this initially, I did it on a smaller piece of cardstock, and then realized it didn't matter how careful I was. When I did my blending, I was getting a line going over, so that's why this is now the same size as my layer. Okay, so once you've got your template done, then we can get to the fun part of the blending. And you can start with whichever one you want. I'm going to start with my one which has lots of circles, so just place that onto your piece of basic white, and I'm going to use Petal Pink and Pool Party for this one. Whichever color you want first. I'm going to start with my Petal Pink. And so these colors are going to be quite subtle. If you wanted the same color, you could actually go like, you know, let's say I don't know, sorry, we just had a brain freeze here. Like your Pretty in Pink, if you wanted pink, and just do a light blend of Pretty in Pink for your first one and then darker for the second, or vice versa. Or you could go, you know, change your colors completely where you had a light pink, Pretty in Pink, and Melon Mambo. And as I said, that I'm not quite sure how those two colors would actually go together, but play with your colors and see what you like, whether you want different colors or whether you want them the same. Okay, right, so there we go. Hello, Anne. Happy to have you from Canberra. You're probably even colder there than we are here. I don't know, Canberra is always freezing cold. And we're not so happy with the weather in Melbourne, so I don't do cold. I must admit that I don't like 40-degree days, but I don't like being cold either. Some people are just never happy. And now we're going to go and put our Pool Party over. So changing up the colours. And my pool party ink probably needs to be re-inked because it is pretty pale, which is why I'm not even bothering to blend off, because I don't think I'm going to get anything very blotchy because the ink is not. And just want it a little bit darker than that. There we go. Now, I hadn't made this card before, so I wasn't quite sure how the colours were going to work out together, but I'm quite happy with that. Next, we're going to take our prairie grass stamp, and with my early espresso ink, we're going to stamp that prairie grass on here. Now, I don't know why when I saw this, it just said to me, this is sympathy card, so that's why we're trying to step out of that comfort zone. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for sympathy cards, it can be for whatever. So, there we go, let's just stamp our grass over our images. We can see this one I actually did a bit lower than I did the other one. Before I put that away, I want to stamp my insert, and we need our sentiment, which hopefully is going to fit on there. There we go. And let's grab that back. And I'm going with that. Ooh. That's not going to work, is it? Well, it is if I put it up here. Kind of. Obviously didn't think that one through very well. Okay, we're going to stick it up there and hope for the best. I normally like the sentiment down in the bottom. But sometimes you do things and you just need to go with the flow. Don't know if I really like that there, but that's alright. We can just do it and see how it goes. At least it's giving you an idea of what I wanted to do. Maybe I need to do this card again and find a smaller sentiment. But alright, so we're going to stick that onto there. And then insert goes inside. I probably don't need my grotty sheet anymore. And for my bling, I'm using the, I think they're called Strawberry Slush and Petal Pink. Let's just check. Yep, Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink Gems. Okay. And these ones are actually on sale at the moment because they're part of the in colour sale. So if you're in Australia, down from $15 to $12.75, which is pretty nice, I think. So let's just add some bling. I think I'm going to go with so they're supposed to be pretty in pink, but to me they go pretty well with the petal pink, but that's okay. Whatever works. So let's just pop some bling on. And there we go. Alright, so I seriously think that I don't like that sentiment. That is going to have to be changed, but if we take the sentiment out, I do actually like the rest of the card. So I will change the sentiment, find something smaller that can go here that's not over there, because that sentiment looks nice over there. But at least it gives you an idea of how I made the card and what not to do when you're stamping the sentiment. So have a good rest of the weekend, stay warm, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.